Thank you and welcome to the Mayor's Corner. Welcome once again. We have a few other events for holiday I want to tell you about. Tomorrow morning, I'm taping this on the 8th, on December 9th at 8 a.m., we'll be at the Roasted Coffee bar down on Groveland Street, where Giraffes was once located, for coffee with the mayor, 8 to 9 a.m. Come on by. We're going to be talking about a grant that we're putting in for from the federal government. Now, putting in for it doesn't mean that we'll get it, but we're going to try, and we want public input on this. The grant will be to change Water Street so that there are more open views and open vistas of the river, to have little deck areas where people can see the river, and to have a nice, better walkway using the existing sidewalk where people can stop, have a rest, and overlook the best asset we have in the city, the Merrimack River. I've got a couple of other events to tell you about. On December 20th at noon, from noon to 1, right here in your office, the mayor's office, we'll be having our annual holiday open house. We haven't had it for a few years, but we're back. So come on by and visit. I'd love to see you. That's December 20th from 12 to 1, open to the public. Also December 20th at 6 p.m., we'll be having what's become a great annual holiday tradition, the Hanukkah lighting, where we'll have two synagogues joining together, and we'll be lighting a second candle of Hanukkah. That's 6 p.m. down in Washington Square, and please join us. Today, Governor Baker was here, along with Lieutenant Governor Polito and Secretary of Economic Development Mike Keneally, numerous other officials. They're almost never together. They go to different places in the state. But today they wanted to come by one city, Haverhill, and celebrate the incredible successes that we've had downtown over the years. And it was made possible because of a tremendous team effort, a great team that we have here at City Hall. I'm very, very proud of the people that work here, our Economic Development Office, our Planning Office, and everyone. And a great team at the state. I've worked with 3 governors now. Charlie Baker is the easiest to work with. And we had a great team at the state that put forth all kinds of programs to improve housing and improve downtown. We took advantage of every single one of them. And the net result over the years has been that downtown property values have increased, in 13 buildings that have been redeveloped, have gone up 1,000%. We have had, that's not a figure of speech, that's the real number. We've had an increase in property values in those buildings of over $60 million. And they've brought in $5 million a year in additional tax revenue. This has helped us overcome the Hale debt, the largest municipal debt in the history of Massachusetts. The downtown redevelopment worked, and they were here to help us celebrate it. Going forward, we're going to continue to work with the Baker-Polito administration for another month, and then the new administration comes in. Our biggest challenge in the city right now is housing. People call my office almost every day, desperate. They don't have a place to live. They're desperately afraid of becoming homeless. Some of them are homeless. We have over 200 children in our schools right now who are homeless. Their parents have no place to live. And we continue to take care of them in schools, of course. You run for public office, not for the glory of it. There isn't any. Certainly not for the money. But you run for office to help people. That's our basic mission as elected officials. Helping to take care of people so they don't become homeless is a housing issue. It's an economic development issue. You can't get business in your town unless the workers have a place to live. And many, many businesses have told me this. But more than a housing issue, more than an economic development issue, this is a moral issue. It's our job to do something and to help. We cannot listen to the negative folks who are against everything. We cannot listen to the folks who say, oh, we love education, we love our teachers, but we don't want any children. Young families with children are the future of our city. We also need housing for 55 and older. People, seniors are leaving our city to go to places like Groveland and Methuen and Plastow, New Hampshire, which are more pro-growth than we are, because we don't have anywhere near enough 55 and older housing. And we desperately need more affordable housing. Affordable housing isn't low-income housing. It's housing that people can afford. I'll be proposing over the next month or two a series of ordinances that'll help make it easier for our city to be affordable so that your children and my children and your grandchildren can afford to live here. My daughter moved back from Queens, New York, to come to Haverhill. Haverhill was more expensive, downtown Haverhill, than Queens, New York was. We have to keep our city affordable so that people can afford to live here. The first step was an ordinance I called to expand the number of ADUs, accessory dwelling units. They're all over the city right now. There's 200 of them that are legal and hundreds more that are illegal. This is so that you can have your children move into another unit in your house, set up an accessory unit, and they can stay with you when they're adults. It's so that your disabled child will have a place to live. It's so that you can turn your house over to your children who can't find a place to live right now, and you can live in an accessory dwelling unit. There's people doing this all over the city. We need to make it a little bit easier so that we can do one small step. This isn't going to add a whole lot of units. Salem did it. It added 6, that's all. But it's going to provide some relief for some family members. This is the first step. Then I'll have other steps that I'm going to propose, what's called an inclusionary zoning ordinance. We want to set up a housing trust fund to enable first-time home buyers to buy homes. This is what we need to do in order to solve the greatest problem in our city right now, the lack of housing. But I'll be back next week to talk more about Christmas, to wish everyone a happy holiday. Happy holidays and best wishes. Thanks for listening.